Hello, everyone. Guess what day it is? I have no idea when this is going to air. That's what day it is. Whatever day this airs. I don't know what my problem is today. I went bonkers this morning. Um, I do have some major news coming, but that's not why we're here today. We're here to look at treasures. I was gonna go camera up, and I just decided, no, I'm not doing that today. So here we are inside the light box right away, and thank you all so much for hitting the subscribe button and also liking and sharing out my videos. This ring was in one of my short feeds, and it got such high view counts that I had to bring it for a close-up and for a little bit longer discussion. I will be bringing this back to a future video on mourning jewelry, Victorian mourning jewelry, and this is actually pre-Victorian. It was thought of years ago that these were around 1850 to 1860. We now know, as jewelry historians, that this is around 1780 to 1790. And that's circa dating because we're never exactly sure. This is a portrait or a miniature painting on ivory. It's in sepia, and what's unusual about this is how complex the design is. Look at the lady with the bird, and then this tall egret or crane, looking at this scene of this woman with this bird and a beautiful tree and a wonderful landscape. Look at her diaphanous gown and the beauty of her face. Such a beautiful miniature. And as a ring, you wouldn't expect this to survive as well as it has. There's a tiny little chip on the crystal right there, but other than that, it's an extraordinary survivor. Look at how beautiful that is. Whoops, how beautiful that is on the finger. It is absolutely exquisite. I'll be bringing this back in a future video, but I guess what today is there's been a lot of things sitting out on my desk, and I was on the phone with a fellow YouTuber last night, she's a friend, and I was telling her that a lot of times I will bring things with me for an extended period of time, like for days upon days. I will keep things with me. I'll bring them with me to dinner. I'll bring them with me to lunch. I think Jeremy will testify to that eventually when I go on with him again and tell you, we'll be eating dinner somewhere at a restaurant, and there I'll be with like 3 or 4 things sitting on the table, and he'll look over like, what are you doing? There's just some things I can't leave home when I first acquire them. It's almost like I don't quite know how to describe it, but this pair of bracelets was exactly that. And these are baby bracelets. These are Victorian baby bracelets, and they're solid 14 karat gold. And they're made exactly like full-grown adult-sized bracelets. And Jeremy actually put this one on his thumb, and it fit his thumb. That's how small these are. These are very, very small. And what I noticed about these is end to end, if you were to take this out and then take this and put this in here, like this, it actually does clip in there very well, and then that would make a long adult-size bracelet. So I think this was a convertible set of baby bracelets that once later on in life, the owner could then wear as an adult-sized bracelet. The slide portion wouldn't really make sense then because it doesn't lay right on the wrist, but it most certainly would make it more wearable later in life. And I do believe that this was a conversion piece for future wear. But these as baby bracelets that were Victorian, these are around 1860, 1870. Someone says that they're earlier. No, incorrect. Someone says that they're later, absolutely pre, 1890. But these beautiful gold tassels and this wonderful tracery enamel in black that is, sunk down into the metal and in such beautiful condition. Look at the oxidation on those links. And some people would immediately think that these are, gold filled or plated. Nope, absolutely not. Solid 14 karat gold. And look at the solder seams and look at the construction. I always bring these. And then that oxidized surface, gold will tarnish. But again, Just always pay attention to the way things are constructed. But I guess these are proof that at times I have things that I find or that find me and that I want to bring on, but I don't bring on right away. They stay with me for a little while and then I kind of feel it out and see if it's okay to bring them on. I know that sounds strange, but that's being truthful. And I loved these bracelets very much, so I'm glad to bring those on as 2 Victorian baby bracelets. What a rare survivor to still be together and still be in great condition. And this was in the bag that, why am I dropping everything today? I should probably re-record this video, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just simply not. I'm gonna keep right on moving, and it just shows you I don't edit my videos, and I probably should, but I'm not going to. This is reverse carved. Is it Essex Crystal? I would think that it would be considered Essex Crystal. It is double-sided. So this is 2 sides of crystal that's been reverse carved, and then a beautiful either swallow or sparrow. Let's not fight over species of bird. I mean, I've seen some comments on YouTube lately that's like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I always say, settle down. It's just a bird. So I believe it's probably a barn swallow with the tail like that. Isn't that what they call it, a swallowtail? I don't know, but I'm sure I'm going to get corrected in the comments. I can hardly wait to read them. And by the way, thank you so much for the loving comments every single time. There's very few that are negative. It's just a wonderful thing to experience me sharing with you and then having such positive comments. And this is probably right around 1900 on this one specifically, but beautifully done and so small, such a tiny little jewel of jewelry. Then I went a little bit newer on this one. This I found at the flea market, and these are all garnets. Why I chose this one was the construction is just fantastic. Very heavy sterling silver. We see these a lot. It's not that this is rare or uncommon, but it's unusual to see such amazing craft. Look at how thick and chunky those bezels are to create that amazing pendant, and the color of the garnets so closely matched. You can see a little bit of a variable, but I liked that. It made it seem more natural to me. It made it seem more lovely or more lush or regal. Don't know exactly how to explain it. And again, the oxidized surface, what a beauty. I haven't cleaned it at all. I probably will, just a little bit. I wouldn't get carried away, but I loved that color of stones, and very sizable. I think that was, I want to say it was like $45 or $50, and I had to do it. This is another example from a pawn shop, and I say please go everywhere and check, don't leave any stone unturned. This is only sterling silver, but it's 138 grams of sterling silver. It's had kind of a rough life. As a Cuban, very difficult to make these, a lot of waste, of material when you make a Cuban. But this one, hand constructed with the way it's finished, Italian, completely correct. Be careful. A lot of times when we see these large sterling chains, they're brass and they're plated silver. This one's totally right. Bought it at a pawn shop, 138 grams. Not sure why they didn't reweigh it, but I bought it for less than scrap at the pawn shop. And I think it's because the tag on this one, it was bought in 2017 or 2018. And since then, it's probably been had money put on it to try and get it back out of pawn. So they were just recouping their initial investment when someone brought this in. Shopping the pawn shops, I feel strange sometimes, but we'll get into why I shop them so frequently, and why I feel that it's okay to shop them. It is sad to see people lose things to pawn, but I guess, you have to think of a pawn shop assisting people when they need money as as well. They're not preying on people necessarily that, need money. They're actually there as a service to provide so that people can afford their bills at a given time. Most people with pawn do go back and get them, at least here in these pawn shops. But this was a steal. I paid $60 and 138 grams. So I was delighted to get that. And I'm just showing you that I will cross over and buy contemporary from time to time. This is the polar opposite example. This is like another brooch that I showed in a past video on Victorian jewelry. And that video featured a sword brooch that was very similar to this, but this one is all diamonds. It's 14 karat and platinum, enameled on the handguard or on the handpiece here, and then the hilt and the blade, and then this end cap so carefully inset with a little bezel set diamond, and then this comes off. So yeah, that's just amazing, and it's 14 karat, and the azuring or the opening on the back of these diamonds is absolutely exceptional. And I hope you can get the quality of these stones. I hope it shows up in the video. And I will say, I'd really appreciate if you would, at the end of watching the videos, if you would just go in the comments and tell me which piece you really liked or why you liked a certain piece. And I love reading the comments late at night. I think this is a reproduction. I'm doing a little bit more research. There are other people in the costume jewelry world that had said this style wasn't a reproduction. So I think that it is. It's signed Trifari right there. The mark does not look right to me. It just doesn't seem right, but this is a Jelly Belly. It's the Pekingese dog, rhinestone eyes, pave rhinestones, and black enamel. The head does move because it is screwed down. It's two pieces to hold this together. So in construction, it's correct. In appearance, the way the pin mechanism is mounted is wrong, and the finish of the metal seems a little strange to me, even though it's rhodium plated. And again, the mark does not look correct to me. But I found the same brooch on eBay, and they are... Well, I think it's an old one on eBay, and they're offering it for $7,500. Then I found another one on a website for $8,700. This came out of a storage unit, and I'll get into more information on this in a later video, but I just wanted to show this now, and I'm doing my preliminary research to see if it's a reproduction or an original. My gut feeling says reproduction, but I could be wrong. And I'm going to slow down and take my time. The yellowing of the lucite makes me think old. The construction, I'm just not so sold on the way the pin mechanism is affixed in place, unless this was altered. But that mark with that Trifari mark, it seems not right. It's in the right spot for this brooch. Something seems a little off, and I'm a little suspect that this may not be as correct as I initially thought. However, if it is, I'm going to be thrilled. But it came out of a storage unit, and like I said, new to me within the last, I think about maybe 6.5 hours. So, and these are magnificent. These are Plique Azure enamel, and there we go. Very, very, very beautiful scarab. Chalcedony in the center, or green onyx. Again, I'll take a closer look eventually. Don't want to tell you just yet, just giving you an idea as to what stone it could be. They are carved scarabs, and then the outside is all Plique Azure enamel on the wings. So that is see-through enamel that the light just goes right through. Let me hold that up. Look how the light just goes right through those wings. When you turn it over, you can see that that enamel is open back. Those cells up there are not missing. That's where the head of the scarab is. So the wings stop there, and that is complete. The Plique Azure is in perfect condition. Also inset with marcasites. So for Art Deco, Plique Azure scarab earrings, magnificent. Absolutely magnificent with the clip backs. They're in such beautiful condition. I paid very little. The person sold them as mere costume jewelry, and I think in the retail market, Probably around $500 to $600, and that's my best guess on those as of right now. I'll do again a little bit more research and see what the current is, but that's what my gut tells me. And a lot of people in the jewelry world, they always kind of run for they run for comps, and they look online right away. I just don't. I go with my intuition, and it's never led me astray in 28 years. It's served me right. This is a beautiful Chatelain compartment mirror, and this opens up, and the foil on the mirror is really in bad condition, but I loved that original mirror. I will not replace that. Some people race to replace that. I simply wouldn't do it. That's just me. I love the history of things, but I love that this swivels open. The enamel on this, again, if we get into enameling techniques, people start screaming, that's cloisonné. Well, not particularly on this one. We'll get into the techniques, and we'll go through all that in future videos, but I don't consider this cloisonné. I just don't. That's just me. And again, I was taught as an enamelist, so we'll get into specifics at a later time when I have a lot of time to delve into it. But this is right around 1890, and beautiful enameling, and I just love that swivels open, and it's so tight that the mechanism is great. The craft is wonderful. I would guess it's probably French, would be my guess. And I just really love that. And again, I think it was $3. It was $3 or $4. And then there's this one, and I don't go after contemporary, but when contemporary looks this good, I can't help myself. And this is by Effy. Effy, Effy, and that hallmark is all pierced out, so you can see underneath that there's, you can see that it lets light through the stone, and it's 18 karat gold and sterling silver, so that little tiny rope is 18 karat gold, and then around the citrine is champagne diamonds or candlelight diamonds. I prefer to call them champagne diamonds. But that ring is fantastic. It was brought to me at the flea market the other day when I set up. It was sold to me for $60. And if I put it online, probably get maybe 200 or so. And it's a beautiful size. It's like an 11. So it's a gigantic size. And I liked its presence. I like the way it looks on the hand. I think that's just exquisite. I really think it's handsome, and I just loved everything about it. So again, I will go and get contemporary from time to time, but it's not like I seek it out. I really love the old stuff. I love vintage. I love antique. That's where my heart is. I had this in a past video, but someone had asked to see it close up. It's just rosewood, and then this beautiful sterling silver cloisonné. So those are little cloisons, little cells, little wires, genuine cloisonné enamel, modernist brooch. And I liked the color. I liked the design. Was it life-changing? No. Was it super cool and modernist? Yes, and I loved it. So I think I paid 10. I'll get between 40 and 60 for it when I go to sell that. The one that I brought to another video was this, and it's a beautiful Roycroft copper vase, and someone had asked me, please show that close up. So here we go again, for the person that missed it in the last video. But look at how this is hand-hammered. This is just beautiful. And I actually brought it to the live, I think, with me and Tanya, and I flashed the mark. So there's the orb mark with a cross on top. There's the Roycroft mark. So if you see that mark on copper or even sometimes silver and copper, please pick it up. You can see that this is completely hand planished out of a single sheet of copper. It's not engine turned. It's not lathed. It's hand raised out of a single sheet of copper. And then a little foot is soldered into there. So there's a solder seam that runs around this. So you can see that this is very well handmade, hand wrought. That's what Roycroft was all about. An arts and crafts company based in America that wanted to bring handmade goods to the masses. But look at that shadowed patina. That's original surface. And what is so lovely that no one polished this. If someone would have polished this and would have removed this warm and brown finish, this would only be worth about maybe $40, $50. With this surface, it's $300 to $400 still. Arts and crafts and mission, it's seen the the height of the market and then a major kind of fall, and now it's just kind of idling. Like many things, it saw its best day, and now it's just kind of surviving. It's still being revered. I wouldn't sell this for less than $250, and I had paid $55 for this. But that original warm oxidation, or I should say, the original shadowed patina, is just exquisite. And I show that to you so you can see if this was polished, you would lose all this handwork. You would lose all this push and pull of the light across a beautiful hammered and planished surface. I loved this vase. I loved this, and I bought it to sell it, and then I got it home and I thought, oh, I can't sell it just yet. So that might be a keep for a while. And then it's just this, like, I'll just bring it on and we'll just flip through it real quick. This is an anodized aluminum bracelet from the late 80s, early 90s. And why I bought this was it was only $1, and it is aluminum, and it might be niobium as well. I believe that was the other metal that we were using in school that we did this on, and it's been, almost almost going to be 30 years, since I was in school and producing such color on metal. And this was artisan created. I found it at the flea market, and I loved the surface, and I loved the boldness of the color. Fantastic. And actually, this might be, I don't think it's titanium. I think it's niobium, I believe, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but I think it is. We had a student at school that always said it wrong, and then it spread. It spread like crazy, but this I need to clean up. But look at the face and this rose-cut garnet. Very old construction. Probably late 30s on this, but I loved the front view, almost that pharaoh with the headdress and stylized face and snake bands, sterling silver, old, authentic, very well made, very cool, and a good size ring too. Again, I'll get it cleaned up, but that was, I bought it in Mansfield. I think it was $35. I lose track. This was attached to like a tie chain, and I thought, oh, this is going to make a great pendant for a necklace. Of course, dragon's breath. Look at the color in that one, though. Very evenly colored. Again, dragon's breath, sometimes it's really beautiful, and then other times it's kind of, not so much. But this one, the electric blue that kind of irradiates over the whole surface. I loved that one. Yeah, the pink and the orange, and then that electric blue flash. Plus, it's gigantic. If I were to set that in a ring, it's a monster. It's a monster of a stone. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to make it into, leave it a pendant, or if I'm going to turn it into a ring. I don't know yet. So, anyways, I was thrilled to find that. I paid $20 for this snake, and it's got a ton of hallmarks on the top of it, and the stones are just beautiful. They're just CZ, they're just synthetic, but I loved the gracefulness of this. I loved the gesture. It's got tons of marks right up there. Sterling and beautiful, rhodium plated, but really liked the face and the detail. The stones are just beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous. And there's something about this that, having a bail fixed in place, the way it was constructed, its craft, the design, the way the stones were set. I will forgive contemporary if it looks like that. If it looks that beautiful, I will definitely go after it. This, I'll bring this back to another video. This is an iolite, and this is solid 14 karat gold. It's a monster, and a beautiful monster at that. Look how thick the metal is. This was custom made, and I bought this from a friend quite a long time ago, and I love this ring. I love everything about it. She had a custom made. She picked the stone. The presence of this ring and how chunky, abstract, and beautiful. Love the pave diamonds. Love the balance. I don't know. I could go on and on and on about that. But look how gigantic and thick that is. So well constructed. The craft is amazing. The surface is fantastic. And I just bought this one today, and I'm going to get it cleaned up. But look at the stones in that one. So that one was fantastic. And I stuck it on my finger because while I was in the process of cleaning it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a video. Got so distracted today, just like always. But you all bear with me when I go nuts, and I'm so glad for that. This little Buddha, it is in the jade and jadeite family. People would say, oh, no, that's rose quartz. No, it's not rose quartz. Settle down. It's in the jadeite family. And it's a pinkish lavender, but it's definitely been treated. It's for sure been treated. This is a gold bale, but I love the attention to the way it's carved. It's thin, yet still robust enough to wear. I liked its translucency and its color, and look how happy that Buddha is. Really super happy, and I like the size of it. It's the perfect size, not too big, not too small. Very quick resale on that one. That will sell very, very quickly. It does fluoresce a little bit as well with blacklight. It fluoresces just a tiny little bit, which, basically just says that it's treated, which, it's okay to be treated, I guess, right? This was in one of my short feeds, Trifari, the mistletoe. I've yet to find this brooch online, so I have to do a little bit more research and try and find out the exact value. This is going to head to eBay for sure, but the mark is right. I bought it for $25. I think between $400 and $450. So at least I'm going to give it a go. I found the earrings on there for like $175 on eBay, but I don't base my prices on what I pay for things. If I did, I would sell this for $50 and lose out. I'm not in the business to lose. I'm in the business to stay in business. And I think, Tanya, we had a conversation and I was like, I want to make sure that they understand. I started this whole process just by, buying and selling and working my way through school. This, I was surprised that I bought. It's Nolan Miller. I don't have anything against Nolan Miller, but I just don't normally find ones that, freak me out or make me super excited, but this one did. Nolan Miller, I bought this at a friend's store out in, oh boy, I'm going to draw a blank, out towards Worcester. I think it was Orville. Yeah, maybe Orville. I think it was. But look at the green, kind of peridot green, and then this almost pink tourmaline. It almost looks like tourmalines all through and through. And this like kind of olivine, and then into this, almost beautiful blush pink, and then in this to deep magenta and lime green. And I loved this design. Plus, they put stones where the leaves bent over. But I liked this. I liked the size. I liked the color. I liked the dimension. I liked the blackened metal. There was some gunmetal. I just really kind of thought that was a stunner. Very moderately priced. And I bought a whole bunch of things at that store. Sold a couple, and basically now everything else is free. So that was excellent. And then this, I don't know where this came from. I think this was out at the flea market one day, and it's a Scandinavian dish. I haven't done a tremendous amount of research. Let's see here. Yeah, Norway on the back. So there's the mark on the back, Norway. And then there's the little foil label right there. But look at how cool. Let me zoom out a little bit. I always say I'm going to zoom out and then I zoom in. Look at that. Just kind of, a beautiful kind of pale gray with a secondary gray, and then someone hand altered that with a tool when they put the glaze on. They just drug the tool through to make that kind of, I don't know, just a beautiful texture, but I really like the shape of it being a soft triangle. So that made me extremely happy. I think it was $3, and in my mind I thought, I can sell that for at least $20. So I think that sums it up. I don't know what else to talk about. I do need to get this video posted. So yeah, future videos are going to contain a whole bunch of more interesting information on what's going on. There's a lot of changes that have happened over the last 24 hours and in such a good way. And I'm super excited about my new journey and my continued success on eBay. So I have to say how grateful and thankful I am for all of you. Thank you so much for all you do for me. I always end this with I love you, because I do. I love you.